He once laughed and said, "Man, that sure is some good-looking stagecoach," pointing at what most people would simply call a motorhome. Hollywood loved to present Ernest Borgnine as the warm, smiling everyman, a gentle soul who got along with everyone, but behind that friendly image was a firm line he would not allow anyone to cross. On one explosive film set, Borgnine witnessed behavior so shocking it stayed with him for the rest of his life. Joan Crawford, already infamous for her temper, was locked in a bitter feud with Mercedes McCambridge when tensions erupted. Crawford allegedly threw a cup of scalding coffee at a young production assistant, leaving him badly burned. Borgnine didn't see it as dramatic Hollywood nonsense. He saw it as unforgivable. That moment hardened something inside him, and it was far from the only clash that shaped the grudges he carried quietly to his grave. He would later struggle behind the scenes with powerful figures like Spencer Tracy and Shelley Winters, names that brought ego and tension wherever they worked. But there was one coster Ernest Borgnine never truly forgave. He was born ERM's Efron Borgnino in 1917 in Hamden, Connecticut, the son of Italian immigrants searching for stability in a new country. Before he could even remember his birthplace, his family fractured. At just 2 years old, his parents separated and his mother took him back to Italy. For 5 formative years, he lived near Modena, speaking only Italian and absorbing a culture that felt entirely his own. In 1923, his parents reunited and returned to America, determined to start over. His father changed his name to Charles, and the family shortened their surname to Borgnine, a quiet attempt to blend into a nation that valued assimilation. For young Ernie, it was an early lesson in reinvention. Growing up in New Haven, acting wasn't even on his radar. He cared about sports, not scripts. Stardom seemed impossible and uninteresting. That changed after high school. When he enlisted in the U.S. Navy in 1935, he was assigned to the USS Lamberton, a destroyer that became his world for 6 years. By 1941, he accepted an honorable discharge, believing that chapter was closed. Then Pearl Harbor was attacked. Feeling a deep sense of duty, Borgnine re-enlisted in January 1942 aboard the USS Sylph, patrolling the Atlantic coast. War reshaped him, instilling discipline, resilience, and a deep respect for brotherhood. When he left the service in 1945, he was a gunner's mate, first class, with multiple commendations. He nearly stayed in the Navy for another decade. Had he done so, Hollywood would never have known his name. The turning point came from his mother. She told him bluntly, "You always like getting in front of people and making a fool of yourself? Why don't you try acting?" The idea felt absurd. He had no training, no connections, no plan. Still, he enrolled at the Randall School of Drama, then moved on to Virginia's Barter Theater, where audiences paid with food instead of money. He acted at night, painted sets by day, fixed costumes, cleaned bathrooms, and learned the craft. From the ground up, his first major break came with a glass menagerie. He walked off stage, convinced he had failed. The audience thought otherwise. Their reaction caught attention, and by 1949 he reached Broadway in Harvey, starring James Stewart. Casting directors struggled to place him. His face was too rough for light comedy and too expressive for traditional drama. Harvey changed that. Playing a male nurse, Borgnine studied Stewart closely, keeping notes on his timing and movement. After 1,775 performances, he had found confidence and control. Film followed. Then came From Here to Eternity in 1953. Playing the sadistic sergeant, Fatso Judson, Borgnine terrified audiences. Frank Sinatra initially doubted him. That doubt vanished on set. Borgnine isolated himself to inhabit the role, unsettling everyone around him. Sinatra avoided him between takes. Even after filming, the darkness lingered. He received threats from disturbed viewers. The role haunted him, but it made him unforgettable. 2 years later, he shocked Hollywood again with Marty Gone, was cruelty and menace. Instead, he played a shy Bronx butcher, yearning for love. The film was made on a tiny budget and nearly wasn't cast with him at all. After a screen test, the director famously said Borgnine didn't play Marte, he was Marte. At 38, Borgnine won the Academy Award for Best Actor, beating icons like James Dean and Spencer Tracy. He thanked his mother and quietly changed Hollywood's idea of what a leading man could be. He refused to be boxed in. At 50, he performed his own stunts in The Dirty Dozen. In The Wild Bunch, he revealed a brutal, magnetic edge. Television brought a different kind of fame with McHale's Navy, drawing on his real-life service. During filming, a pyrotechnic accident left him badly burned, but he returned with greater determination and earned an Emmy nomination. Later roles defied age and expectation. In Airwolf, he performed dangerous stunts well into his 60s, surviving a helicopter crash by sheer luck. Then came an unexpected final chapter, Mermaid Man. On SpongeBob SquarePants, suggested by his grandson. He recorded episodes until just weeks before his death at 95, becoming one of the oldest active voice actors in history. But off-screen, the memories that stayed with him most were not awards or applause. They were the moments that tested his principles. On Johnny Guitar, he witnessed Joan Crawford and Mercedes McCambridge descend into open warfare, costumes thrown into the desert, screaming matches, physical fights. Then the moment he never forgot, Crawford hurling hot coffee at a young assistant, burning him badly. Borgnine saw brilliance and cruelty collide, and he never excused it. He endured similar pressure with Spencer Tracy and exhausting clashes with Shelley Winters, surviving tension that demanded as much endurance as talent. Through it all, Borgnine remained professional, resilient, and quietly firm about what he would tolerate. Ernest Borgnine lived 95 years, filled with reinvention, discipline, humor, and integrity. But behind the smile was a man who never forgot the moments that crossed the Land one co-star he never forgave.